What's up guys, welcome back to another video. As you can see from the title, today we're going to talk about buyer's agents, what they are, why you might need one, and at the end of the day, are they worth it? Well, let's find out. So first things first, buying real estate can be, in fact, buying real estate is very stressful and probably one of the most stressful things that you or I will ever do in our entire lives. It's not only stressful, it's time consuming, and honestly, if you don't know what you're doing, if it's your first time buying a property, it can just be downright confusing. So this is where a buyer's agent can really add a lot of value to your life because they can take the stress out of buying a property, they can remove the confusion as well as the time consuming factor. They can relieve that as well by doing all of the legwork for you. So this is where buyer's agents can really come and save you a lot of time, effort, and also money. So let's talk first about what buyer's agents actually do. Quite obviously, they work for buyers to find properties based on the specific requirements. So what they'll do is, most often, buyer's agents will offer a full end-to-end service. And what that means is they will meet with their clients or with yourself and work out what you are trying to actually do. So maybe you haven't even gone to the research phase of looking for a property. So a good buyer's agent is going to assist you in researching the area, finding a good location and finding the right suburb before even looking for a specific property. Once they've got the right suburb, that's when the buyer's agent will head out into the market and look for a property based on the requirements that you need. And a really, really good buyer's agent is going to have access to a whole list of off-market listings. And this is where a buyer's agent can either save you or make you a lot of money in the long run. And we'll get to that a little bit later on. But the buyer's agent will then obviously find the property. They can then negotiate the price for you. And before you get to the settlement phase, a lot of buyer's agents will be able to refer you to mortgage brokers, accountants, solicitors, building and pest inspectors to make sure the full end-to-end process of buying a property is done and complete, and it's all done through them right up until you getting the keys in your hand. So that is a full end-to-end service of what a buyer's agent can offer. But they may also offer just one-off services as well based on what their clients need. So for example, buyer's agent clients might just need the agent to attend auctions on their behalf. They might just need the agent to do the negotiating. They might just need help with researching a particular area. They might just need help with the inspections or any specific in between that goes with buying a property. So a good buyer's agent is going to be able to give you all of these one-off services based on what it is that you're looking for. But above all else, from my experience, having used a buyer's agent, the best kind is the one that is going to educate you along the way. So if you're someone who's never bought a property before, or you're buying in an area where you know nothing about, a good buyer's agent is going to share with you the data that they use to find good properties in the right location. And this is going to then help you when you go to buy a property the next time. You're going to know exactly what you should be looking for and what you don't really need to be looking for. So a good buyer's agent is going to educate you along the whole journey. So let's talk about the benefits of using a buyer's agent. I mean, we've talked about the services and what they can offer, but what are the benefits from going with a buyer's agent when looking and buying a property? And the first thing, as I mentioned in the start of the video, the buyer's agents can find off-market listings, and they do this through leveraging their relationships with local sales agents, because before a property goes on to the public market, a lot of times the sales agent will actually call through to the buyer's agents that they know and see if they can sell the property without even having to advertise it or anything like that. And quite often, more often than not, with these off-market listings, this is where you can get really good deals on high quality properties. And that's where in real estate, where you're going to make a ton of money. And this is where a buyer's agent can really pay for themselves in the long run by getting you a really good property at a really good price in a really good capital growth area that is obviously going to be paying for itself, paying for the buyer's agent's fee within a couple of years. The other benefits of using a buyer's agent is that they should have local market knowledge. And this is really beneficial if you're an investor or if you're looking to buy a property in an area where you don't necessarily know as well as your own city, because quite often as investors or real estate owners, we know the area that we live in. We quite often know the city that we live in fairly well in terms of the good and bad areas to buy. But when you start expanding outside of the state and city that you live in, it then becomes very hard to find the right property and the right location. And this is where a buyer's agent is going to be really good value, because they're going to know the area very well and they should be able to steer you in the right direction to find the property that suits you best. And one of the other benefits, as I'd spoken about earlier, is the educational factor that a buyer's agent should be giving you along the way. So as I was just mentioning, if you're buying in an area where you know nothing about, a good buyer's agent is going to educate you as to why the area is good. They're going to share the data that they use to find good properties in these locations. And this is really invaluable in the long run in just educating yourself on the property market, talking with experts, and just using and absorbing all of the knowledge that they have. Lastly, the benefits of using a buyer's agent is that they can actually make you or save you thousands and thousands of dollars. They can save you thousands of dollars by finding you a really, really good deal, generally an off-market listing, but they can also make you thousands of dollars by getting you the right property in the right location in the right area that you can get the right capital growth. So what to look out for and how to find and pick the right buyer's agent, and they're not all created equally. And I think the first thing that you need to take into consideration and ask these agents before you do any business with them is, are they licensed in the area that you are looking to buy? Quite often they're going to need a state real estate license to be able to operate as a buyer's agent in your particular area, but check with your local agencies to ensure that the agent has the right license for what you are looking them to do. Then once you know that they're licensed, you want to understand what kind of experience do they have in that area that you are looking to buy. Have they just recently moved there? Are they been operating there for 10, 20 years? What's the status? What kind of properties have they bought previously with their clients? You want to know as much as you can from the agent, and also referrals as well, to see what they're like to deal with. You just want to know pretty much everything you can about the agency before you pay them to do anything. And obviously you want to understand the fee structure. Now, generally with most buyer's agents, it's going to end up being two types of fee structures. Number one, they're going to charge you a flat upfront fee regardless of what outcome, regardless of the service. They're just going to be one flat fee, and then they're going to go and find a property for you regardless of the price. The second type of fee is going to be a commission-based structure based on the property price that they buy for you, which in my view is a massive conflict of interest, because the higher the property price, the more the agent is going to get paid. So they will just go out and get you the highest property price, and then they would get the most money from you. Doesn't really work in my view, so I would highly recommend to go with an agency that's going to get you a flat rate upfront, you know exactly what you're paying, rather than somebody that's going to charge you a commission based on the price that they're going to find you. It's kind of weird. I'd recommend not doing that. So something to look out for when you are working with these buyer's agents is understanding what kind of properties they are actually going to be looking at, because there's a lot of instances out there where buyer's agents would actually be getting a back-end commission from property developers for selling you a specific property type. This is, in my view, fairly shady. If they're not upfront with this from the very beginning, you want to know where these properties are coming from, and you want to understand if your agent is getting a back-end commission from these property types. So it's a little bit hard to tell, because sometimes they may not be upfront with you, but what you want to do is you want to understand, you want to do your own research in that area as well, so you have some independent view of what kind of properties are out there, and just be very cautious of the properties that do come through and where they're coming from, just to make sure you don't get stuck with a deal that looks good on paper, but in reality is not quite as it seems. And then lastly, when you're working out which agent you want to work with, you obviously got to understand what it is that you actually want. Do you want a full end-to-end service and you want the agent to educate you along the way and do a lot of the legwork? Or do you just need them for one-off services like attending auctions, doing the negotiating and things like that? So work out what it is that you want first, then speak to the agent and see if they can actually adapt their service to your needs, because everybody's different, everybody's circumstance is different, and I'm sure that you want to understand what they can do for you before you actually enter into any deals. So at the end of the day, are buyer's agents worth it? In my opinion, buyer's agents are worth it for a variety of different people. Number one, it's going to be good for those people that don't have time to go out there, research property, find one, go to the inspections, put offers in, and do that week in, week out until they find the right property. So if you're time poor, a buyer's agent can add a whole lot of value in your life because they're going to do a lot of the legwork for you. Secondly, a buyer's agent is going to be good for those first home buyers who just don't know the property buying process and are a little bit scared, a little bit hesitant, and also a little bit confused, because the buyer's agent is going to educate you along the way. So the next time you go to buy a property, you're going to be much more confident and you're going to know exactly what the process is and what to do every step of the way. And the third type of people a buyer's agent is going to suit is those investors that are buying in locations that you don't necessarily know too much about. So I personally use the buyer's agent to buy interstate in a city that I literally knew nothing about, and I'm ever grateful that I did that, because the area where I was originally looking, if I had bought there, I probably would have lost a lot of money, let's just say. But I've bought in a decent location, and thank you to the buyer's agent, because they educated me along the way and really helped me buy the right property in the right locations. So this is where buyer's agents are going to add a lot of value, is for investors buying in locations, states, cities, and even countries that you don't know anything about. So hopefully that's helped you understand what buyer's agents do, why you might need one, and are they worth it. If you enjoyed the video and want to help out the channel, I'd appreciate it if you smash the like button. It really is the best thing you can do, because then that passes the video on to other people just like yourself who might get some value out of it as well. If you've got any comments, leave them below. I'll definitely get back to you. Otherwise, that's all we have time for today's video. I appreciate you watching, stopping by the channel. Until next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. I'll catch you soon.